Lord, we just ask you to be with the sick and the shut in. And Lord, we just ask you to be with our military people scattered throughout the world that's helping to give us this protection we sit here and enjoy today. Be with them and their families, oh Lord. Lord, we thank you for this court. We are brokenhearted, some of us are, over the loss in the election over Buddy Ron. And but things will go on. So we just ask you to be with him as he recovers from this shock, I'm sure. Lord, we ask you to be with this court, be with each one of us as we look the agenda over and then the budget later, that we keep in mind not anything for ourselves good, but for our constituents throughout this great county that we live in, Lord. We just ask you to be with us now as we go through this meeting. I ask all this in Jesus Christ's precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. You have the minutes before you from the last meeting.
Make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Motion to approve is made by Magistrate Sammons, seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Corrections, changes, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. All right. It looks like we're now about to approve some bills, Ms. Mariah. You made it in good timing there, Counselor.
Okay, so I just want to point out two things that will change from what you see before you on the bills. On the first page for Bluegrass Biomedical Incorporated, that is ARPA funds. The account number that you see there will change. Darlene will present it later for approval to be added. So just letting you all know that so you're aware. And on page 4, when I was going through and doing my double check, that check ID is actually going to be 078 to match with the account number so that it'll print on the correct check. So just making you aware of that. The bills total out to $488,653.16. The standing orders that have been paid out total at $571,320.12.
I move we approve the bills as presented with noted corrections.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the bills as presented with the noted corrections by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Is there any questions, comments, or discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mariah. All right, next, budget and then cash transfers.
Okay, budget transfers, for a little bit from each fund, total $54,162 even.
I move we approve the budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the budget transfer as presented, made by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Is there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries. Thank you. Cash transfer.
Okay, cash transfers, total $324,250. And that is operations, and then one is a partial check that is paid in by Mercer County that just needs to be transferred to restricted funds.
I'll make the motion we approve the cash transfers.
Second.
Motion to approve the cash transfers made by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Ellis. Is there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, I start out, first thing on my part of the consent calendar is to read, National Garden Week. Would you like to read Magistrate Kaywood, would you like to read the proclamation, or you want me to read it?
You do it, sir. I hear enough about it.
All right, we want to recognize June 5th through the 11th of this year as National Garden Week, and this proclamation reads, whereas the gardeners have a passion for nurturing the beauty and resources of the earth through the planting of seeds, the care of all plants, and the riches of their efforts, and whereas gardeners seek to add beauty, splendor, fragrance, and nutrition to our lives through the growing of herbs, vegetables, foliage, and flowers, and whereas gardeners work to preserve our country's traditional spirit of independence and initiative through innovation and hard work, and whereas gardeners advocate the importance of all creatures, large and small, that share our world and their roles in a balanced and productive ecology, and whereas gardening furnishes a challenging and productive activity for our citizens, for those just learning as well as those having years of experience, and whereas gardening promotes a healthy lifestyle that lasts a lifetime, helps reduce stress from other areas in our life, teaches the rewards can come from diligent efforts, and whereas gardening enables members of the garden clubs across the nation and the world to make a notable difference in the communities where they reside and work, and furthermore, let it be known that the Garden Club of Danville is celebrating its 87th year of aiding in civic beautification and promoting conservation and protection of our natural resources in the community of Boyle County and Danville, Kentucky. Now, therefore, be it resolved that in conjunction with the designation of National Garden Week by the National Garden Clubs of America, that the Boyle County Fiscal Court proclaims on this date, the 19th of May, 2022, the week of June 5th through the 11th, 2022, as National Garden Week in Boyle County, Kentucky. Do we have a motion for court approval?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by
That'll get me
Magistrate.
in the house.
It'll keep you moving on forward, John. The Magistrate Kaywood and seconded by Magistrate Sammons. Any questions, comments? All those in favor of approval of this proclamation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And congratulations on the things that helped our community look better all the time. And, you know, I specifically know how much our Constitution Square looks better when the Garden Club and their activities and their members are involved in helping us do what they do.
You got to flare plenty just before the rain, isn't it? A good time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see. Next on my agenda is some appointments. I have received two nominations from the library, and you have those in your packets. And both of these, I'm not sure if both of them are reappointments, but let's just consider them appointments. Julie Clay is a reappointment, and then Alethea Ruzek is an appointment. Do I hear a motion to entertain these appointments?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion made by Magistrate Ellis to approve both of these individuals and seconded by Magistrate Sammons for appointment to the Boyle County Public Library Board of Trustees. Any comments, questions, or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and that motion carries unanimously for both individuals.
Judge, I
Next.
might be out of order on it because I should have brought it up beforehand, but my colleague to my right, Magistrate Cullen, has a wonderful idea of having a satellite library out in Perryville. I wish I could claim that idea for my own, but I immediately shared it with Carlos Miller, the mayor out there. And with Julie Clay there, I think we can be persuasive to get that done.
That sounds like a plan.
I reached out to one of the board members on the library the other day, and I'm hoping to
speak with the executive director to kind of maybe get that ball rolling.
I'm hoping too. How about a web search?
Well, I'm glad she's with me.
So Ronnie's iPad's gonna help schedule it.
Perfect timing.
Don't hold the button in.
This ain't gonna blow up.
Anyway, so yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, both of you. Next,
never goes.
you see the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security resolution. I do want to read this to you. This resolution is related to a 2022 grant application. And this would be approval of the court to allow my signature and be notarized to move forward with the grant application. But whereas the Boyle County Fiscal Court prioritizes the need for adequate fire protection for the citizens of the county and recognizes the need for its firefighters to have up-to-date equipment at their disposal, and whereas the Boyle County Fiscal Court intends to make application to the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security's grants program, and now therefore be it resolved that the Boyle County Fiscal Court hold in reserve $200,000 of a proposed project cost for the purpose of matching Kentucky KOHS, which is Office of Homeland Security Assistance, and authorizes County Judge Executive Howard Hunt to sign all necessary documents related to the securing Homeland Security funds. A little bit wordy there, securing.
Extra security is always
It's extra security. Be it therefore resolved that in the event a grant is awarded, the Boyle County Fiscal Court understands that if required, it will sign assurances to comply with all applicable federal and state laws, rules, and regulations, special Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and Section 504 of the 1973 Rehabilitation Act. That is the resolution in its entirety.
Make a motion, we approve.
Motion to approve has been made by Magistrate Cullen.
Second.
And seconded by Magistrate Ellis, I believe. And is there any discussion or questions about the resolution and the grant application? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and the motion carries unanimously. Thank you for that. All right, next, you have before you, and you have in your pockets, in your iPads, a resolution to obtain credit, corporate credit card, and actually it's resolution number 22.05.19 will be the number, and you can read it. Do I need to restate the resolution? This is a little bit of a expanded practicality, which for the court's benefit, there's only one card. There will be only one card. It'll be my name on it, but there will only be 3 authorized users of the card, and that is myself and my assistant and the treasurer.
I'll make the motion, we approve
Second.
resolution 22.05.19.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Magistrate Gay and the corporate credit card resolution, and seconded by Magistrate Short. If there's any questions, comments?
This procedure, so will you check us in at all of the conferences and everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so,
When I know that you are planning to attend.
oh, okay, that will
If,
be,
if we don't hear from you, we're not making them.
right, okay.
And
then-
I'll reach out every.
And then it will be, then all the bills from the credit card will be listed in our bills to be paid, correct?
Yes, yes,
So we will see.
yes, sir. That will be a bill on the presentation that Mariah makes.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries. Thank you.
On the topic of credit cards,
Yes, sir.
if possible, I'd like to kind of examine on getting rid of that terminal we have up front for the animal license. We have a credit card reader up front, and I believe it costs money per swipe, and then it costs us a monthly fee or something like that.
There's no monthly fee.
I think
There
There generally is with those.
I know, but there is a cost to use, but there's not for the government program.
Okay, all right. If that's the case, okay. I was gonna say, because there's other ones out there that you can get that.
For the government program, we don't pay a monthly fee.
Good
We
deal.
do, there is a cost associated with a swipe for use.
There's a percentage cost.
We may wanna, a lot of places now are kind of pushing that back on if they're gonna use a credit card, then we charge them whatever the fee is. We do that as well. Great. I'll shut up.
Should be, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
Do it tax admin.
yeah, we do.
Okay.
It's the same one.
Good deal.
Okay. County insurance review. What you have before you in this chart right here, and we've talked about this a lot, and this information comes to us from Cheryl Morgan, our health insurance
Broker.
broker, okay? Not counsel, but consultant. And they have given us 3 options and compared, as you can see, to another local entity. And you see the monthly insurance premiums at the bottom. I don't have Steve or Shannon here, but in looking at these, you can see the cost, and as you well know, our cost was fairly high for family coverage in our current providings. Now, all these have roughly the same employee premium cost, but there are slight differences in the in-network and out-of-network deductibles and catastrophic limits. I personally kind of lean toward option 3, but what is the discussion of the court on this? This would dramatically, if we look at those family cost prices across the board on this sheet, that is a dramatic reduction from where we have been, which is a retention recruiting tool for us. And it's the right thing to do in the current
This is a big improvement from where we've been, because it was almost undoable. I
It
guess
really was.
Is the word I was looking for in the current situation. So, I mean, they had to go on their spouse's insurance, and, in some cases that wasn't an option, and then it becomes difficult to remain your employment here with the county if you didn't have a spouse that had appropriate, insurance coverage.
And as counsel has shown me, I've got the old figures here, if anybody wants them stated. I don't.
Yeah, I'd like to know what we have now.
Would you like to know?
Yeah.
All right. Single coverage is $100 a month, okay? But if you participate in the AHRA program, which is the health, program where you get evaluated and everything, takes it to 0.
Okay.
Single plus 1 is $628.47 a month, which takes it down to $528.47. Family is $993.69. It takes it down to $893.69. And you see what the max here is on family with
What we're doing difference in coverage over changing, probably raising.
looking at a little bit higher deductibles and a little bit higher catastrophic limits.
Okay.
But as you look at the co-pays on 3, they are very competitive and reasonable, I think.
Well, we were having the problem particularly with EMS. Mike kept talking about it at our committee meetings about how we were not competitive in order to try to bring in new people.
Right.
So this will help, Mike?
Yes, tremendously.
Okay.
What we
And
doing?
same statement from SO.
And what's in network and what's out of network within this, what is our network, I guess? Does
I'd
it
have
include
to ask.
Lexington, some Lexington?
Oh, yeah.
It is, yes, it's mostly ARC related, which is some Blue Cross Blue Shield, stuff like that are in network.
Well, in-network also means if your doctor wants you to go to somebody in Lexington, a specialist, then your insurance is gonna cover it, okay? But it's gotta be preferred to
Yeah, I
the
just was
specialist in
curious
order
as
for it
to
to pick up, but if you
how
go out the
broad-
network.
Shannon would have to ask you what
Yeah.
that network is,
How
and
broad the
I can't
network
tell you right
is,
off the top.
yeah.
But
If you
quick,
go out the
so,
network, it's gonna hit you real hard.
so the premiums that we're looking at now are 100, 200, and 300, right?
Yeah.
Does that
Does that valuation still count? Do they still get the $100 credit if they go?
Yes, sir.
So the family could technically go down to 200.
Yes, sir.
Mike.
This is a
Game changer.
game changer.
It
Yeah.
really is.
What's the, what
It's
was,
a raise
what
for
is
your
the rate?
employees.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a
like
raise.
Julie's right. It's a raise for our
What
employees.
coverage we have now on, emergency room? What's the deductible?
I don't know,
Anybody know? What is it, Mike?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, we'd have to have,
250.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That would be,
this.
have now?
No, I don't know what it is now. That's what it would be in this plan.
We started out with, a long years ago, John, you know, we didn't have any deductible emergency, and then we went to $50 to discourage it. I don't know what it is now.
Under this plan, it'll be 250
I don't
though.
know in a few days when we get a bill, I guess.
Well, things are a whole lot different today than 40 years ago too.
The only difference with this, when we talked to them, was if you do see a specialist, it has to have a referral.
we have to have a
It has to
referral.
be
That's
prior
really, that's the way it's
authorized.
always been.
So,
Primary doctor is your
yeah,
doorkeeper.
that's
Make a
exactly
motion.
right.
Opens the doors for you.
Make a motion. We go ahead and approve option number 3.
Second, third.
Option 3 is the motion,
Yep.
and it was seconded by, it was made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Ellis.
Was there any?
I don't like the increase.
Discussion?
Yes. Was there any changes to our cost? What it's going to cost the county?
Yes. Yes. You see that on the very bottom line, the very bottom line.
Additional.
You see the cost of the proposed plan changes. And I've already discussed it with our treasurer, that was my leanings to potentially have that, set aside as an additional cost to the plan, There is cost neutral on 2, and then you see the cost associated with option 1.
Yeah. Okay.
to the county.
All right. That's very reasonable.
When I came into healthcare administration 50 years ago this year,
You want healthcare? You ever hear of Blue Cross?
the cost of a hospital day in Kentucky was $65. I don't even want to tell you the cost of my hip last year. I will tell you, $79,000.
I got you, baby.
You want to see
Do
myself?
we have electricity?
We're doing a
in
great
that?
favor to the employees of this county.
Yes, we are.
You know,
Okay.
when you look over the last month or so, this plus the air vac are two nice.
Two
things.
real nice
Really
benefits.
nice advantages for our employees, Mike, and you might use that in your recruitment.
Yes, it'll help turn.
And this will help every department, recruiting and retention, every department.
I know what they
I
charge.
already heard from the sheriff, and he said this is their quote was, "This is a game changer."
Well, you got good benefits in your county, it's gonna draw people to come to work, come work for you. That's just the way it is.
72. I was just a dream.
Okay.
And that falls into looking good, feeling
I'm
good.
probably not
Nice
gonna
for
get into
myself.
that one. So,
Don't
Could
worry.
have been a nightmare.
I was gonna say it quickly turned into a nightmare for my parents a year later.
I'm gonna lose control here real quick. Okay, all
Moving right
those
along.
in favor of approving, all those, yeah, see, he took your spot there. Travis. All those in favor of approving option 3 of the insurance, health insurance proposal before us, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion, opposed, like sign. There's one opposed. All right, it passes 5-1. You got that? All right. Thank you for that. And I ask that now we.
When's this going into effect? July 1.
I think July 1, yeah.
Okay. No raises yet, Mike.
Huh?
No raises for me yet.
Do you want me to find out?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And be July 1st.
I imagine July
I think
1st.
Lisa said July 1st.
I think that's right, I think it's when your calendar review,
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be the beginning of your calendar year.
so.
But I could be wrong, so we need to verify.
So that's what she's gonna do. So we'll move along. Rashea, that you're up, and tell us about the Don't Sleep and Backpack program.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for allowing us to come here and speak with you. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. My name is Adrian Ogle. I've been with Don't Sleep since the very beginning. I just want to quickly tell you, I guess, give you a gist of what Don't Sleep is. Being raised in the late 80s and the 90s, things were very different than it is now. And I think you guys would know that. But there's a term that people used to say, it takes a community to raise a child. And I feel like personally we've gotten away from that, the furthest away from that. But with Don't Sleep, we focus mainly on education, being as that's very big when you're raising a kid. But we also like to help in many ways as we can. And with the backpack program and the event that we throw every year, or try to throw every year, the block party, it's basically us helping, giving back to the community. Personally, I coach football. I help organize different events and different programs within the school systems and with different people around town and in the county. But with Don't Sleep, it's a way for us to say, hey, we can't give you everything, but we can give you something. So whether that be vendors coming out and giving free stuff to the kids, to helping parents out with oil changes or whatever the case may be, we tend to try to, we do work our hardest to try to help. But with Don't Sleep, man, this is the best way possible for us to give back, and I love it. I love working. I love going out and talking to people and meeting new people, and yeah, that's what I want to say about that. But I wanted to introduce Miss Darlene.
Hi, my name's Arlene Morales. I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been in Kentucky for the last 15 years. Been a parent here. My oldest will be 21 soon. Scary. But Don't Sleep, I've been a part of it since the beginning of it. When we were doing it at Constitution Square, it kind of got overrun. So every year, I feel like it is something good for the children. Like, you know, my colleague said, we've gotten away from it takes a village. And within that, we tend to kind of shaft our kids from the things that we had growing up. They don't really get to go outside. They're on tablets doing things. And our event is a day not just for the kids to come out and do things. It's also a way to show them that we still care, that they are somebody. They can be somebody. Somebody cares about you. Regardless of what's going on in your life or anything, we're here to help as much as we can. You know, you're not alone. And a lot of kids in our town need that. You know, they need to know that they're not alone, that we do have, that there is someone that cares. You know, unfortunately, there are some parents that kind of don't care about their kids and don't buy the necessities that they need for school. And so through this program, our backpack program, we can give them that. And we make sure that the child receives it by giving out tickets so that they can pick this up at school. So that way, you know, okay, I physically gave this child the backpack with everything they needed for the year. Growing up in New Jersey and moving to Kentucky was a big difference for me in the fact that back in New Jersey, we didn't have to buy school supplies. We bought a notebook and a backpack and that's it. You know, and then moving to Kentucky and being like, you have to provide all this for your child. You know, even I sometimes struggle not just providing that for my child, but the extras in the school. You know, some people just don't have the funds for it. You know, every year I spend each kid about anywhere from $80 to $100 per kid. And that's just the school supplies. I have 4 kids. You know, some people, it's not viable. You know, so our backpack program kind of helps, you know, ease that dilemma of, am I going to be able to provide what my child needs for school? You know, and that in itself is a blessing because it does show our community that we care. We're trying to give back to the community, show the kids that there is something else other than just running the streets and doing stupid things that you really shouldn't be doing. You know, our program not only shows them that we care and that we're trying to give back, it also informs them, you know, through our block party, informs the people of what is going on in the community, what different things we do have to offer. So many different people and organizations come out to allow the community to know that we care, that what they have to offer. Churches come out, you know, so it's a good way to not only be informed of what's going on in the community and what we have to offer and how you can get help. It's also a way just to give back and let everyone know that you're not alone. We are here. We're trying to help. And not only do we get people from Danville and Boyle County to our events, we get people from all over. And we try our best to contact them later on and, you know, see if they did receive what they needed. And I mean, we've even put our own money into this because we feel it's very important for these kids to feel wanted and justified. Yes, sir.
What is the date of the block party? And is that the day that you give out the backpacks, or how are the backpacks distributed?
Okay, so it's June 30th this year. No, July 30th this year. And what we do is they come, they give us their name, their information, how many kids, you know, the kids' information. Family First actually works with us to do that. And they take down the information, make sure that the child goes to the school, gets the information, make sure they're not getting help for anywhere else. Kind of the same way they do like the Christmas programs and stuff like that. The parent will get a voucher, and the first day of school when the kids go to school, they will receive that backpack. Due to the fact that we've had issues in the past where, like I said, some parents just don't care. So, you know, to ensure that the child gets this for them and that they have it, we give it to them the first day that they go to school and they get it at school.
Is there do you have a budget for the program?
I will
Yeah.
through my colleague
That was
Rashea.
gonna be the next question.
Does the money go through Family First?
The money goes through me, and the reason why is because it's not just Family First that helps us. We also have the Beacon that helps us because the Beacon takes over for Danville High School and Baden. So for us, we're trying to get to where we have Boyle County involved, which I've tried every year, but every year they told us that they do their own program. Gonna try again this year just because for us, it's something that helps. And I have parents there that tell me, hey, we're not getting it. They come to the event and they try to push us and give it to them at the event. But I don't give the backpacks away at the event because with me being as young as I was when I started, I had people try to sell me backpacks after they took them home. So for that reason, now instead of us giving it to them at the event or when they go to sign their kids up for school, we actually put it under their desk so when they get to school, they have them and the parents are not taking them back to Walmart to get money or going out and selling them to people within the community and so forth. So the budget part for me is because we give to Party on Air, we have to have the budget for food and so forth. So all the money that we have to spread it out. And then me, I get paid around $1,000 every 2 weeks. I put $300 to $500 in the bowl every 2 weeks so I can pay for it, because actually every year we have made it to where us and then my best friend Ramon, who's in the military, he's in the Air Force, he sends out the money of whatever we have left that we have to pay for it, because sometimes we get $3,000 from the community, sometimes we'll get 5, sometimes we'll get 6, sometimes we'll get 15. We never know how much we're gonna get, and it costs us, like this year it's gonna cost us 36. We have 11 more that we have to get. So we've actually raised $25,000 to go ahead and push it to get to what, cause we got 34 bounce houses we get all supplies for kickball, basketball, food trucks that come out. We have 2 chefs that come and barbecue. Von Little's one of them that come out and barbecue. So we buy for all the food for that because that's free to everybody that comes out. So the only thing they pay for is if they want food from the food trucks. Everything else there is free.
So basically, this is just really for Danville.
No. So right now I'm in talks with Garrett County and Lincoln County.
But what has it been before?
Before it's always been for Danville.
Danville, okay.
Yeah, for Danville
I know
schools.
Junction, I mean,
Junction
schools,
was.
they get a grant, they get funds through the state to get backpacks to the low-income people.
Yeah.
And they give them stuff every day, pencils, papers. 'Cause
And
I've
see,
done
that's
school bus.
we stopped that at Downwell because kids were being bullied at the simple fact of, oh, so now I know you're a low income parent because you have that backpack, I have this one. So now we give it to every student. Some of the students will take them home and just not do nothing with them. They'll use it for like when they're going to stay out with their friends and so forth. But it's the point of trying to stop it to where kids are being pointed out of, well, you got those shoes on, so therefore I know this. Or you got that backpack on, so therefore I know this. Like, we're trying to make it to where, because I was one of those kids growing up. And what she was talking about kids not having things, I hated having to come to school for the first day and say, hey, can I get a pencil? Like, just stuff like that makes kids just feel low to where, okay, I don't want to do homework. I'm going to put my head down in class so I don't have to tell people that I don't. Instead of me showing you that my parents don't have the money, I'm going to act up in school to where people just think I'm just funny and popular in school. So
I think it's a good thing.
Thank you.
We, I know our churches did it for a while.
Yeah.
But the reason we stopped doing it was because the same group of kids would come to every church.
Yes.
And they would end up with 4 or 5 backpacks.
Exactly. So
just like you said,
like she said, the way we
the
stopped
parents would
it,
take them out and they would sell them. And
they would
everything
sell them.
else.
The second year we had, I did a thing with Walmart, and I had to where I put my initial on every backpack. And what we did, it was basically a test, because the first year we had people try to sell them. Second year I was like, okay, if they're trying to sell them to me, they're also taking them to Walmart. So Walmart had over 50 backpacks returned with my initials on it.
Okay.
So I had to take them back to school, go through the list to find out what kids didn't have backpacks, and it was a headache.
So have y'all reached out to any churches maybe to
She does that.
to help? Because
Yes, sir.
you know, a lot of church will help in this, but the way you're doing it, you know, the backpacks, some people won't get 5 backpacks.
Right, right.
Yes.
You know, they could donate money to you to. So
Yes, I have reached out to several different churches. I am waiting
okay, have you
for
reached
callbacks.
have you reached out for our church, the Church of God?
Yes,
Brown
I'm
Montgomery.
waiting for someone to call back.
Okay.
Actually.
All right.
Yeah. And
Let's see
then
what we can do.
Junction City First Baptist actually provides the backpacks for Junction City Elementary. They have been doing it for the last several years,
Yeah.
and they just do the whole school. So that's something, and they should. They usually come out sometimes and help with the event as well. There's other different churches that I'm waiting for callbacks because, you know, the fiscal year and all that good, lovely stuff.
Right.
How
about Hope Network? You work with Hope Network?
Yes.
Hope Network actually has already guaranteed $1,000 to help with the funding. Which they have done for since they opened, to be honest.
I mean, if y'all haven't been out to Millennium when they've had these block parties, of course, you know, the last couple of years they haven't been having them.
Yeah.
But I remember going out and having just a great time with my kids and just the sense of community coming together. I mean, it's really like a nice little block party.
It is.
You know, and everyone's just happy. It's actually where I met James Hunt for the first time. So
Bring back old memories.
Huh?
Bring back old memories.
It does. It's great. I mean, I'm gonna make this easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and recommend we go ahead and donate $5,000 to this organization.
I'll second that, but I do have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
I've already used up your questions.
Now, we got a motion to award the backpack program. Is that the name of it? And
It's called the Back to School Bash. Back to School Bash. Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was made by Magistrate Cohen, seconded by Magistrate Gay. Now we can have discussions, ask questions.
Yeah, because I think this is a great program and effort you all are doing and all those things. I guess my questions still and my concerns relate to the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And us giving governmental money
Yes,
to
sir.
an individual.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure we get that figured out and streamlined.
So with
as
that,
how the accounting and accountability
right,
and all that.
And that check can go directly to Party on Air, so I don't even have to touch that one, because we actually the money that we have left needs to go to Party on Air. So you can actually make that
What's
direct.
your budget this year?
It's 36.
36,000. What do you have left out of it now?
We have 11.
Well,
11,000 is left.
Yeah.
But we have 6 that needs to go straight to Party on Air, and then the 5 would be for like food and so forth.
Are you a 501c3?
I have to get me, yes, but I don't have my tax ID number yet. That's what I have to get.
I might recommend that they just follow the same appropriation procedure that everybody else does.
Yeah.
You have to reconcile at the end of the year by September how you spent the money for the previous year.
Okay.
You have to provide us some documentation, so that would put them on the same playing field as
Right,
everybody
that's what I
else.
was.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at
Yeah.
as well. That's where I
thought
was
that's-
going.
Yeah.
Is that that's the mechanics part
Yeah,
of this.
yeah.
That we need to treat you all
Mhm.
like we do everybody else, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
all need to then go moving forward, get in the proper chain of
Okay,
command.
okay.
But I would recommend the whole 501(c)(3)
Yes, yes.
thing. And,
Yeah, I've
and
sat
getting
down
all
with Tim
that.
Montgomery's office, and they're actually in the process of getting that done. So I have to, after the block party's over, from where I was the one that's gonna be like putting in so much money, I didn't know this was gonna happen. So I was gonna be funding money. So every 2 weeks I've been putting money into that, but now I can literally just give him the money and go ahead and finish it because I owe him like $500 for it.
We need our agency's packet to have the same information that we have for all the others. It just makes it fair.
Yes, sir.
Darlene?
Well, what I was gonna bring up is, since you say that you owe the money to Party on Air.
Yes, sir.
We could actually, if we received a copy of that
Yeah,
invoice,
yeah.
we would be able to just go ahead and make
Mhm.
that check payable to,
Yeah.
for that amount of money, whatever you all decide.
But that
to
makes the
that.
court feel like it.
I don't know, I would like to see us work on that a little bit.
Mhm.
I think this is one of those things that I'm good with us doing this with the staff kind of working out some of the mechanics of this.
Okay.
Well, I think the program has tremendous community-wide benefits.
Sure.
And I wanna see it continue because his due diligence is gonna iron out this piece about people selling backpacks
Yes.
back and all that. That's gonna stop.
Right.
And
And it has stopped. It has not happened since year 2, and we're on year 8. So.
Yeah.
Had you alerted Walmart on the front end?
Yes,
Why
yes,
for your
yes.
system?
The second year is when we did the initials and everything else to do that, and now it's literally at the school when school starts. So they don't have any. They have never had any return anymore because it's at the school when they go to school. So the parents never touch it until after they're at school.
Did they
So-
get a
ticket.
chip or a ticket to
Yeah,
get a backpack
they get a ticket.
at the block
They
party?
get a ticket at the block party.
Yes.
They write down their name at the block party, how many kids they have in their home, and then we match that with what the school has when they register them for school. So if they say they have 5 kids, but the school only says they have 3, that lets us know when school starts they only have 3, so the 2 just gets wiped away. So even if they lie to us at the block party, the school registration shows how many kids they have anyway. So we literally take step after step after step after step to make sure everything is in order when we give a
July
away.
30th, you gotta be out there. because
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Millennium is packed, and it is
Yeah.
just a
We
huge
average 3,000 to 5,000 people each year.
event. Are you guys gonna be giving away any, like, I know
We give away stuff every hour, and then he has talked to Walmart in Harrisburg, and they're in talks with him to get to where every hour they're giving away something.
Okay.
Now our Walmart in Danville has not talked to us at all about anything like that, but he actually got Walmart to do it in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I do
And
like the
remember
fact
what
that you're partnering with Family First and the
Yes, sir.
Beacon and running it
Mhm.
with them
Yes.
in conjunction in the Danville system. I would hope that all the area.
Yeah, I would
That's what
actually
we're trying to
love
do.
if Boyle County did it with us, and
With you.
if I can get Garrett County and Lincoln County to do it, that'll be, because I didn't know it, but Garrett County actually has to pay for each student that goes to school. Like each student that sits down in school, their parent has to pay for them to go. I think it's like $25 to $50 a student, and then they have to pay for tissues and all that other stuff. So like, I was talking to a woman there, and she said her average is like $125, $150 just to get her kid in school.
Lincoln
So
County does the same.
they do the same thing.
Yeah.
See, and so I'm trying to get to where we can change the dynamics of all of them, not just Danville. So
What goes in the backpack?
we get the list from the school and everything that like grade 1, 2, 3.
Like the pencils they need for their
Yeah.
class
Yeah.
or
They'll
like.
get a backpack, notebooks,
Yep,
ruler,
everything that it says
whatever
they
it
need
says
for
on the
day
paper.
1, we'll have all that
Blue
stuff in the
sticks.
backpack.
That's pretty impressive.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
If, Boyle County donates 5,000 or whatever they donate, are you able to earmark that money to make sure that it goes to a Boyle County / Danville child or whatever
Yes,
versus
yes.
another county?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Alright. And the second thing, I think that like if we write a check, I'd rather us write it to the nonprofit organization versus
Right.
a for-profit organization, and then they can pay them that way.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Right,
better.
yeah, I
that
think
way.
that's the mechanics we have to
Yeah.
figure out. We just can't write you
Right,
a
right,
check
right.
personally.
Which I have my I have all the stuff, but don't sleep. The only thing I don't have is tax ID. So
And we can work with Tim to get that information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we.
Yep.
But I'd rather write it to, like you said, the 501c3.
Yeah.
Things you don't have the tax ID
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
One, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it would seem that this one side effect of this is it eliminates one child belittling another
Yes.
child because
It
of
does.
the income level.
Yes.
And because I think that is so sad that,
Mhm.
that one would do that to another one.
Yeah.
But what you're doing sounds like it eliminates a lot of
Thank
that.
you.
So,
It does. We
thank
get
you.
a lot of different donations too, and like we actually have people that come and like they can win a haircut, and some
Yeah.
kids can't afford a haircut for the first day of school, so that's a big thing.
Yeah, Dwayne's doing that. He's
that
doing
they'll
it
have
for
a haircut.
like
So if you
3
need a
kids.
haircut, you know that's something that we make sure you have, and you're not paying anything for it, but the kid is sure to go to school feeling better about himself
Right.
because you know he was able to do that.
I was gonna ask, what can we do to help make sure more Boyle County system participants?
If we can just
are
get the
involved?
Boyle County system involved, period. Like he said, they already have their own program. So literally it would just be them showing face and showing that they're doing it. That's all they would have to do. All they would have to do is come there, set up a booth. We don't charge for booths or anything like that. They would just have to set up a booth, let the kids know and the parents know, hey, we're giving away backpacks, school supplies, and then it doesn't seem like they're just doing it for the low income, but it seems like it's just something. Even if it's just for the low income, it won't look like it because they'll be looking like they're doing it for the whole entire school.
Yeah, so anybody can come sign up.
Right.
Are you
And-
familiar with what Indian Hills Christian Church sponsors? I think it's.
They do
Yes,
stuff with
sir.
Bait Middle School and the Beacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually do stuff for like food and stuff there.
Well, we've had a backpack program that went to TotalE one time.
Yes.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They would do like snacks and stuff for the weekend and stuff. Indian Hills, I'm actually waiting on them. They're having a meeting at the end of the month, and they will give me a call and let us know what they can do. Most churches that I have reached out to, it's literally has to do about the fiscal year and kind of where we are right now.
Right.
It's the end of the year, so they're trying to.
Yeah, so they're trying, yeah. But I also let them know they don't really have to do anything. Just coming out and informing the community of what your church does, what you offer, and you know, giving something away for the kids is like that in itself is more than enough at this point.
So you communicate with Calvary as well? Calvary
Yes.
Baptist? Okay, good.
Moving right along.
All right.
Well,
I think-
just, and, you know, I know of Rashea. Rashea, what else do you do?
I work for Spectrum, so I'm a business accountant for Spectrum. So I do that every day, Monday through Saturday. I have 2 daughters, a beautiful wife, of course, from Florida. not her. She works at Dana. We met at Dana. When I first started this, I was working third shift at Dana. So I would actually get off work, then work for Don't Sleep, go home and sleep for about 5 hours, go back to work, and I would do that every day. And then for this, actually, after we get stuff started, I get flyers and we go door to door to each house in Danville. Now, if they don't open, they don't open, but if they open the door, we give them a flyer, let them know what we're doing, ask them to come out. That's how we got so big at doing it, and now we have Lexington, Nicholsville that come. We have people that literally put it on their calendar. We have a family from Minnesota that comes every year, which is kind of biased because it's my cousin, but they literally come every single year, and now they're bringing people with them this year to come. So, like, it's something that's just, it's getting big, and it's getting so big to where when I get the tax ID done, I'm going to try to get to where I can do this 3 to 4 times a year. I don't want to just do it once, because I have kids that literally tell me that this is like a vacation to them. So,
I'm confused. Do you actually live here and commute every day to
yes, sir.
Lexington? Or-
I commute from actually not just Lexington, Louisville, Garrett County, Lincoln County. Like today, I got to go to Garrett County to work. It just depends on where I'm going.
With gas prices, you need a moped.
Tell me about it. I told him a bike. I don't even want a moped.
Well, more than anything, I mean, y'all are stepping up for the community.
Thank you.
And these are the kind of future leaders we need to really care about.
I agree.
That means a lot to hear somebody say that.
Yeah.
No, this is, so I grew up in Delaware, and I grew up very poor, you know.
Mhm.
My dad had died when I was a baby, and my mom didn't have, she married young and didn't actually end up having her high school diploma, and so she had to raise 4 boys on her own, and I was the baby, and I grew up really poor, and
Yeah.
I understand exactly how all this is, and to see y'all putting so much, not just work, but passion into what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest with you and go ahead and tell you why I started Don't Sleep. So Don't Sleep started because in the 6th grade, my mom and dad split up because they got stuck on drugs. And from 6th grade to graduation, I lived by myself. So I had 3 brothers, 1 sister. They all lived with either a friend or a boyfriend. I lived by myself. So I stayed at Contra Square for 6 months. And nobody like acknowledged what I was going through. Parents like just washed away. And then I had a couple of teachers. Mr. Trueblood was one. He reached out to me and asked me, like, he brought me in his office and just said, basically, what are you going through? Why are you acting the way you act in school? Because literally I was so smart in math at one point, I was teaching math in class. And then I went from that to just doing nothing. So I know the difference between kids that actually can but won't. And like, just for that and having to just take care of myself, go through the stuff I went through in this community, certain people that pulled out and just pulled me in to say, hey, what can I do to help? Kevin Hampton at Gethsemane Baptist Church, who literally started buying, this is the idea that I got to say, okay, I'm gonna do something big to where nobody understands what's going on. Kevin Hampton bought pizza to church every Wednesday so I could eat, but he bought it for everybody in church so nobody knew it was just for me to eat.
Did you mention Mr. Bobby Trumbo?
Yes.
Outstanding individual. When my wife and I moved here 20 years ago, he helped me when I was substitute teaching at Danville High School.
He pulled me up by my
Great
shirt
man.
and told me I had no excuse.
Literally,
he didn't pat me on the back. He didn't say, hey, I understand what you're going through. He did. He grabbed me by my shirt in the hallway and said, you have no excuse. Stop making excuses. Get it together and get to work.
And I know that we were kind of talking about, Boyle, whatever, but John, Jamie, myself, we're all in that Danville city limit as well. So, the money that it's not just, there's Danville and there's a county.
What I'm thinking is I may want to try and get with Rashea and go out and just talk to some folks and see if we can help bring folks together.
I'm happy to join as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, our goal is to not only be able to do it this one day, but be able to do it throughout the year, just to give the kids something to do. Like I said earlier, these kids don't have much to do. We got the skating rink and the movie theaters. That's it. If you're not doing so if you don't have money, you're just running around doing, things you shouldn't be. So
that's going to be the importance of our Parks and Rec system too.
Yes.
Yes.
Extra things. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Oh, we got to vote, by the way.
I know it.
Yes, sir.
Do I call you when my spectrum?
As long as it's for business.
When it goes down.
If it's for business, yes, you can. You can text or call me or email me.
Just tell them to unplug it and plug it back.
We got to vote. We haven't voted yet.
I didn't know we had to since we, so, okay.
Yeah. So we have a motion to award $5,000 to the 501c3 aspect of the backpack program. And we've had an opportunity to discuss it at length and hear more about it. Is there any need for further discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote.
I had 3 more questions.
All right.
Just real quick, we'll proceed with collecting the information we need.
You already got it.
Okay, good.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you all so much for your time.
And you got for everything?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Y'all
you
have
all.
a good day.
Have a great day. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Next, we have Miss Darlene that'll be up to present some stuff to us.
Okay. First of all, I needed to add 2 new line items. The first being under ARPA, and I know it says general fund. Oops, that's my bad. I guess I got in a hurry. But it should have been under ARPA funds, but it's software development upgrade.
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
Motion approved made by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Gay, to add additional line items for ARPA. Is there any question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Thank you. All right, next.
Okay. And and also on there was one for the fleet mechanic, the diesel mechanic.
Yeah, I saw
He's
that
not
one.
started yet, so.
Thank you.
Anyway, going forward, there was the, we received information for a postage meter and decided on a term for 36 months. It has an electron scan receipt app so that everything can, all the return receipt information can just be scanned back in.
And we do a lot of that, more than I realize, we do a lot of that.
It's gonna, yeah, it's definitely gonna increase.
And we're required by administrative code to do that.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
It will help immensely.
Yeah.
Motion to approve made by Mr. Cohen and second by Mr. Short. Thank you, sir, for that.
And
What's the price?
it is.
$27,000.
It is.
Oh, you're in a giveaway mood.
It is $115.99 a month. That's a 36-month term.
And they're gonna save a lot of time on
A lot.
putting a stamp on and
Yeah,
all.
we have to,
I tried to push for that years ago, but never did it.
Yeah.
Off the
So-
question.
We're coming around to your wisdom.
That's off the question.
Back then it was called the Pony
You
Express.
are a
but-
wise man now.
All those in favor of the approval of the contract for the postage meter, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
And I just wanted to, just really quickly, just, a shout out to Mariah for, she's worked really hard on getting some AT&T credits back to us. So,
Yes, she has.
we've gotten $3,000 worth that's happened over the last, like 8-9 months, where we were continuing to be billed even though we had moved to Ring Central. So she's worked really hard at that, and so that was coming back to us. And I just wanted to say thank you to her.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate that. All right, next, we have Miss Shannon. She's
Motion we
got-
approve.
Or second.
They don't wanna hear from you today. We have a motion to approve and seconded before you got up to the podium. Is that acceptable for you? Although you have that before you on the comp time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Thank you.
Do we get our answer to when the insurance?
They've called, Steve said he thought it was January 1, but they're gonna confirm that and see if we can do it July 1. They just
Okay,
wait
that's
on
what
the
I
phone
would
calls.
thought, but it
Yeah.
would have been with the new.
Yeah.
Tell them if not, we're gonna switch companies.
Let's let it run the ground. We can call this in clarification. We both kind of recollect, if our memories are anywhere near accurate, that people from Rashea Morgan have stated to us, we believe July 1. So we just have to verify that.
Okay.
All right.
Tell them I'll be calling.
Mike, you're up.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Fiscal Court. On this EMS week, the phrase for this EMS week in 2022 is "Rise to the Challenge." And just want to take a real quick moment to thank all of our employees, all of our field providers that we have out there that every day make a difference. And I just want to thank them personally. We couldn't do it without them. We're as busy as we've ever been. The other day we made 22 runs in 24 hours. 19 of them was in the first 12 hours, and it's just as busy as it's ever been. So I want to take just a second to thank them.
And when you're saying runs, you're not just going from like here to the hospital. You're talking about all over the state, basically.
Yeah, yep. A lot of inter-facility transfers, a lot of car wrecks. Of course, it's trauma season now, so encourage everybody to wear helmets on motorcycles, wear their seatbelts all the time. Those things make a difference for us when we get there. So, just a real quick thanks for that to all those providers. Really excited today to have two paramedic hires to consider. One full-time paramedic hire, Laura Sims, who's with me today. Super excited to have her, and one part-time who we recruited. Some of our people recruited when they went to a critical care class together. So that recruitment never stops. So super excited to have Laura with me today, happy to entertain any questions about that.
Now, when full-time, I didn't get your talking slow it down, understand what you said.
Full-time, yes, sir, full-time.
What's her name? Just the lady here?
Yes, yes.
What's her name?
Laura Sims.
Do we need a motion? I'll make that motion.
Second.
Welcome.
A motion made by Magistrate and Secretary Magistrate Cullen to approve the full-time, Laura Sims and the part-time of Jeremy Wall as paramedics. And when you get these presentations by the director, they've been vetted and through the processes which we've discussed
HR
previously. Yeah.
And what salary you started at?
We haven't, their normal salary.
Yeah, beginning salary.
Did you negotiate a good shift or what?
Yeah, he did. He asked me if I preferred days or nights. I said, well, if you like him, probably days.
You live in the county or do you have to commute?
I'll commute from Nicholasville. My now husband is from here, though. He's lived here his entire life. So we do plan on moving back.
Yeah, okay.
So.
And when you come from, does Nicholasville have the 12 or 24-hour shift?
12s.
12s.
Initially, they were 24s, and we moved to 12s about the same time Boyle County did.
Difference? A good difference for y'all?
Yeah, safety-wise.
Yeah.
It
You
was a
work
really
for
good difference.
Nicholasville EMS?
I worked for Jessamine County, yeah.
Jessamine County, I mean, yeah.
Well, welcome, thank you.
Yeah,
well.
All right.
I like to hang out out there, you'll see me around, sorry.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations.
Judge, before we let Mike sit down, the judge and I, and Jason joined us, were at a debriefing for a terrible accident out in my district out in Portland last week. And I'm in your debt for what we went through. Just, could you briefly tell us a little bit about what happened there? Because I think all of us need to be there for your next, God forbid that we had one that bad, but that briefing.
Yeah, we've actually had 2 briefings this week that reviewed 2 critical incidents that we've had in the last month. Yesterday we did it at the dispatch meeting. We reviewed the drowning that was behind Cattleman's, and then we debriefed the car wreck that we had in Forkland where we had 6 critical patients. So we had some communication issues. Then we've got a lot of actionable items that we're going to work on to make coverage better for that part of the county as far as radio, communications. We've found a couple of things that need to be improved, and we're going to work on that. So it's been a busy week, and I think the 2 debriefs that we had are going to be huge as far as moving forward for making sure we can provide that top-notch service for everybody in the county, not just the city of Danville.
Did you, the one, that's why you flew the 2 kids out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the debrief that they had wasn't just Mike's crew. He had the sheriff's department there.
Dispatch.
He had dispatch there. He had air evac on the line.
Yeah.
He had
Fire department.
fire department was there. Boyle County Fire Department was there. He also had our EMS or our EMA director, right, was there. And then of course General Tom and myself. I just invited myself, but.
I thought it was a great after-action review of the brief on it.
And it really gives us an idea of the things that they have to go through, especially when, this is out in Forkland, and so you've got lots of different factors that really, just from the simple thing of people on the road, the cars stacked up on the road so the emergency vehicles can't get to them, and I said it before, Kentucky doesn't believe in shoulders. So, it's trying to get these larger vehicles through or whatever, and so it just, again, great leadership on how we can hopefully not have these things again, but if we do,
Our
we're prepared.
When it doesn't go to force the 1st of July, does it?
What's that? What's that?
The membership.
Area back is 1st of July, yeah.
Introducing myself as the least qualified.
But they weren't counting, these people were not counting.
During the presentation and Q&A, I introduced myself as the least qualified on tech. And I brought up a concept that I've now followed through with Bill Nichols. He's a great IT guy, as we all know. The communications, 3 different networks or 4?
Well, as far as the radio,
all the communications that has to take place
Yeah.
with the entities
Yeah.
that Magistrate Cullen just mentioned. And it's almost at cross purposes sometimes, and people need desperately to talk to one another. And I said, is there, or can we look into the idea of a drone up above an accident like that can get all the signals and coordinate them? And Bill was very intrigued when we came back over here to the courthouse, and he's gonna check it out, because with what's going on with drones worldwide right now, there has to be the ability to put a receiver and an amplifier up in the air above an accident like this, where all that communications can get coordinated so everybody can talk with one another. And obviously in your district and in my district, it can be crucial to get that instant communication underway. So hopefully Bill's gonna find something for us within the next year. Someone will invent that.
General wouldn't let me buy a plane.
We did that in the military. Say there was an earthquake and it broke up Paducah and the airfield down there, we would launch a Civil Air Patrol 172 and put it somewhere over Litchfield and bounce the signal from Paducah to Litchfield, then back to Frankfurt. And it does work. It does work. But now, since that AAR, and Mike knows this, I believe, we have found some other potential resolutions or solutions to our problem that we were almost totally unaware of.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
this is going to improve communications for the history of radios has been a problem and will continue to be a problem. We just try to do the best with what we can.
One of Mike's best guys was down on his knees working on someone and trying to communicate at the same time. So.
Yeah, and as soon as we had that debriefing, Brian, as soon as he left there, he called Southern Communication. They were down here yesterday working on the problem. So
wonderful.
So it's moving fast. So it was very effective.
But Mike, I'm quite confident, as other members of the court are, that our employees out of EMS are very aware of our support of them and their professionalism and what they do to save lives and make this county a better place to live because of this court's support of all their activities and their professionalism.
I'll call for the question.
You
We're
do?
gonna vote on this young lady or not?
I thought we did. We didn't?
We didn't,
We
no.
haven't voted yet? Okay.
Tom.
Everybody
All right.
got off.
All
we
those,
got
since he
off-
called for the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We got off the train and
I
jumped
thought
on
we
the
did,
bus.
because
You had one job today, that was to keep us on track. It's
That'd be
10:07.
hard to do.
I know that. Yeah, I know
Walls,
that.
paramedic, let's not talk to them.
One thing that the
I'm gonna
one thing
review
that
the tape, I believe you did.
one thing that the insurance will do for us is that we have been recruiting new paramedics because the family insurance, when as people age and they get married and they have a family, the health insurance was keeping us from recruiting those people because they couldn't afford it.
Right.
So with that comes experience and getting more experienced providers. And I think what you all did today with the insurance is going to be huge for us. And I want to thank you for that for sure, because it really is, like Julie said, it will be a raise for our employees.
It will be. It will be. All right.
I'd like to
Thank you very
remind
much.
everybody, you've got a report, review his report, because it takes a lot of work to put this together. And we need to study it and see what they go through, because it tells you a lot. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mike, wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Did we vote on the Jeffrey Wall?
We did
Voted
all as one.
They were both together, yes,
We
sir.
voted on this twice.
And we
I think we did.
Yeah, we did, because he was getting ready to leave and Tom stopped him and asked him questions.
I'm gonna look at the tape, but I think we voted on it
did.
twice.
We did.
Yeah. Man, I just caught you all asleep, I didn't know it.
And it is National EMS Week and Peace Officer Week, so give them a visit, bring them something good.
All right. Counselor, it looks like it's your turn on the agenda.
I really don't have anything since we just had a meeting like last week, but on my Facebook page, I put a link for the Brass Band Festival, which is coming up the first weekend in June. I still need people to work the Pepsi booth. We've got it filled for Friday, but we need people for Saturday, I think 10:30 to 12:30. My whole family selected one for like 12:30 to 2:30, because my daughters love to do it.
Check it out, that could probably help some.
That'd be great.
week on some advice and counsel on some issues that we have to talk about. If you don't mind, I'd like before we go around for the committee or the district reports, I'd like to ask Julie to give us a brief on something that our ARPA contacts and advisors have asked us to consider.
Right, late yesterday, and I do apologize for this, we uploaded a procurement policy to your Google Drive. We had a conversation with Rich yesterday, RJ Palmer, sorry. I don't know why I had Rich on the brain. And he suggested that we pass this procurement policy today. What we're going to do is we have earmarked the money for Parksville, and that money will stay in the ARPA account, as will the fees for RJ and for Stites Harbison. The remaining balance of the money at the next meeting on the 31st, we will recommend a transfer into the general fund. We're doing this under lost revenue. And this is one of the changes that came out of the April 1st revision that
this year
that happened when RJ was here last.
It's under 10 million.
Yes. So what that means is that we don't have to call RJ every time you decide you want to earmark some of that money to a project. It's going to make it so much easier for us. We can go ahead and fund the fire station
administratively.
Yes, we can. We still have to do our reporting. We'll still have to do our internal controls, but we won't have to go to RJ every single time and issue a new grant agreement for each project.
I'll make a motion, we approve this procurement policy.
Thank you.
Motion to approve has been made by Magistrate Cohen, second by Magistrate Kaywood. Was it Kaywood? Okay, good.
Can I just briefly
talk
about, you know, we have to review the administrative code next month, and that's an annual thing. One of the things that we learned this week, and I had made a note after the Governor's Local Issue Conference last summer and put it in my administrative code, is we need to amend our procurement references to what KRS allows. There are two different ways you can do it, and we're going to be looking at amending that. There's a 45A that will make it a lot easier for us, and especially for the jail, to how they handle procurement. So that's just something I wanted to tell you that to be thinking about.
Statute allows
it's
that
statutorily, and they recommended it last year at Governor's Local Issue Conference. And I made a note in my book, and sure enough, here we are, and it's something we wish we would have had.
We talked before about the advertising costs, and as I went through it last night, I noticed that that's an issue in there. I think the new statute gives us latitude on that, and we probably ought to look into what we can.
I've been doing it. The way it works is we can put a smaller, we don't have to print the whole thing. You can put a smaller display ad in and reference them to go visit the document on our website. And Friday we'll have 6 public notices in the newspaper for 6 different projects that we're working on.
I know you and I talked about that briefly.
Yeah, we've been doing it. And then Bill fills out an affidavit to certify that it was uploaded. So it is a lot cheaper.
And another thing for the reach, let's check out in the future if we're allowed to use something like the internet or Facebook or something like that as one of those paid entities so that the entire community sees it, because our newspaper is limited in distribution. So
I think the RFPs we've been putting on our Facebook page to direct people.
So we're using the internet
for free. For free. We don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, they can just go look it up, link, and it takes them right there.
All right, we have a motion before us and on the proposal, and it's been seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. We'll start around the room with committee and/or slash. This is committee and/or slash district reports.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
Only thing I'm not sure how many of you are interested in, but I presented $8,000 scholarship to Lady Blanco, Abigail Godby, Monday night. And I go to Danville to present $8,000 scholarship to a young lady on Friday nights, this Friday, so if any of you like to come out at 5 o'clock, come out.
We need, did anybody get some pictures so we can put that on our county Facebook page? It's already on there? Okay, good.
And, another thing, Judge, I know, you're interested, on the first, if they get it, except we're having those two young ladies here, and I present them a large copy of the check,
The first of what?
$8,000.
I know first of what month?
First of next month.
June? And
We
we moved it up to the day before, so you need to I think it's the 31st.
Well, are we having a meeting on the second?
That's 3 times I've got it.
I don't know. Somebody help me with that.
Yeah,
It would be the 14th. June
That-
14th is the
June
second.
14th is our next
Regular
meeting,
meeting.
is our one in June. It
Yeah.
starts June 14th, then June 28th. We have one on May 31st, then it should go back to order
Yeah.
June 14th, and then June 28th.
Just a
Well,
call
it'd be
me.
best to have them come in on 14th, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir.
And I actually was, I met with Superintendent LaFavors the next day, and he kept saying how just Phil got up there and how smooth he was, and just, you know, he had no problem speaking in front of the 500 people that he was speaking in front of, and just did a real good job up there. So he had nice, good things to say about Phil. So.
Thank you. I need that.
You got anything,
I know,
you got anything else, Phil?
No, sir, I just appreciate my partner work, being where he was and hearing those remarks.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it short.
I don't have anything, plus we don't have a committee, our committee don't meet till next month, so.
Okay.
First day.
All right. All right.
I'm good.
That's
I've got a
good.
couple of things. Next weekend, Phil and I are speaking in
You are,
Payroll.
yes.
What's the details? Do you have details that you can give
No,
us?
sir. I have not been contacted by anybody since I handed it off, but I'll be glad to connect and make sure the time, location.
Right.
And everything. Okay, she's got it.
You got it, okay.
See Missy.
That's great. Thank you, Missy.
I just, what I wanna do is just, John's got all the information, they don't need to hear me.
Well, they need to hear
And
you.
I'm gonna introduce John.
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
That'll work.
Take about 10 seconds, so.
I'm gonna introduce him, then I'm leaving.
Oh, no.
You were expecting some information from Bluegrass Ed.
I do have it. I
Did
need
you
to
get-
forward it to, it's in long spreadsheets and I'm trying to
Oh, okay.
get it to where it's all census data for the counties by county. It's good. I'll just
Is it-
forward it to you and then you and I can decide how
Okay.
we want to
I just
present
want-
that info.
Yes, sir, I just wanted to follow up on.
I'll send that to you when we adjourn from
Appreciate
here.
it. Remind everybody of the solar panel meeting Tuesday, the 24th.
Third? Tuesday or
The
Thursday?
24th.
That's Tuesday.
7
Is that Tuesday?
Yes.
I said
7 that
Thursday.
afternoon.
At Center Works.
7
So-
PM.
So just suggest everybody show up. Also, I want to keep on the table the opportunity for BCTC to come and kind of tell us about what they're going.
You want me to invite Aaron?
I think it'd be a great start. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is Aaron back here now?
It's
Excuse
been
me?
marked on.
She's back here.
Okay.
Let's say for interim purposes. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
It's not a permanent, but interim purposes, and we will work that out.
Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
All right. Master Cully.
I do have a report.
Okay.
EMS committee met on the 10th of May. Present were General Hunt, Master Kaywood, myself, Rogers, Wesley, and Bryant were there as well. We talked about the runs for April. They were at 528, and man, they just keep getting more and more. I know he talked about the runs that they did on that one day were 22. And I think that
24 hours.
yeah, next day they did 19, and so it's not like, it's not slowing down for them. So, and which is extremely important with these ambulances we've purchased, because the ones that they have now, high miles, and so the ambulance purchases and the new mechanic are going to be huge for actually huge cost savings for the county. So one thing that was brought up that doesn't get talked about is when we take it to a shop, not only do we have to pay the person the hourly labor rate, but we also have to pay them parts. Well, those parts get marked up as well. So now we can buy parts for the stuff at cost. So that's going to be a good savings. We had a discussion for a billing change for deceased patients. I actually came in late. You want to talk about that at all, or it was where they were making a change on the deceased patients?
With our
Yeah, we changed the
billing.
We're not gonna bill for those who are
Right,
deceased.
that are
patients. That's the kind of the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We had discussion.
And that's pretty standard.
It seems to be standard in the business,
Yep.
yes.
Staffing discussion for the 22-23 budget was a concern, but with this change in insurance and other things, we're gonna be in good shape, I think. Plus, we got a really good group of guys. Spent several days this week out there hanging out with them, and I appreciate them all greatly. And then when I see them out on runs, they're just top notch. And one of the things that was discussed about in the debriefing that not all of us think of is, you know, the actual trauma that they see at accidents, and what they have to go through, and you know what they had to see at Forkland and what they had to see at 52. You know, a lot of times people
Daily.
really need some therapy after that of what they see. So, you know, this is not just people being transported to from place to place. This is saving people's lives coming into a horrific situation. You know, I mean, a Forkland, a baby was involved, and it's just hard. So
2-month-old, right?
Yeah.
9-month-old.
9-month-old. What I thought. Yeah. So, and then a fleet report. One of our ambulance EC8 is in the shop for multiple issues. Biggest ones are like transmission and AC. And so I'll go ahead and submit that report for consideration.
The motion to accept the report made by Magistrate Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Ellis. Anybody questions, comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries on submission of that report. Go ahead, Magistrate Cullen.
Today, if possible, could we close in solidarity with our people from Callaway County? They lost a sheriff's deputy, Jody Cash, and so if we could possibly close it in memory and solidarity with them, that would be wonderful.
I am unfamiliar with the circumstances. Was it in the line of duty?
Oh, yes. There was a
He's a
shootout.
former, he would retire from the Kentucky State Police.
Yeah.
And he was the chief deputy in Callaway County.
Right. Which kind of hits home, you know, our guys face those same issues all the time.
Would it be acceptable for the court that on behalf of the entire court, we send a letter of condolences to the sheriff's office?
Yes, I think that would be fantastic.
Along with the certificate of adjourning in honor of.
Please, which I think is a great thing. I mean, that's wonderful that we do that, and thank you. I want to discuss real quick some things that came up at the EDA meeting. It really, I've thought about this for a while, but it really hit me. You know, for several years, we've really kind of blamed a lot of the problems on EDP on one specific person. And it was mentioned at that EDA meeting that it really falls on the hands of the EDP. You know, the EDP was tasked with having 3 employees, and they didn't do that. So every failure, issue, or whatever landed on Jody Lassiter's shoulders. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right. Jody was hired to do a certain job. He wasn't hired to do all 3 positions. And when you talk with several of the businesses that are in town, I spoke with Francesco out at the Luca Mariana Distillery the other day. You know, you talk with Joey from Denya, you talk with Mr. Carter from Inner County. Those are the areas where Jody shines. You know, I mean, he. I know we've had some businesses that have left, but on the most part, you know, people from Megan. Jody was instrumental And, you know, part of the job is getting them here, but the bigger part of the job is keeping them. So, when it was mentioned the other day in EDA that the EDA actually dropped the ball on making a lot of things economic development EDP, sorry, not successful. And I don't think I should have solely landed on Jody. And so that's my 2 cents on that. Court meetings, can we please stop changing the meetings? Court meetings are on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. Unless we don't have a quorum, then we don't change. You know, if we're gonna have a Jeopardy.
That's a hard line to take sometimes.
Well, I understand. Well, I mean, unless we need a special called meeting or something like that, but switching the meetings around left and right. I mean, the amount of work. I came in early today because I had something to do, and seeing Missy and Mariah and Julie and Darlene running around to try to get stuff done on top of their other jobs. I mean, if you can't make a meeting and we still have a quorum, we just kind of need to stick to that schedule, because it's also hard for the public to try to figure out, well, wait, I thought they met on these days, and they don't always see the updates. So if we cannot change the dates, I do everything in my power to schedule around the dates. You know, I know that these are the dates we're meeting. So I know with budgets it's a little hard, but if we could, please, let's just not change the meetings if at all possible. EMS Peace Officer Week, I already said that. Reminder, there's a flag retiring at VFW on Saturday. Yep. Please let's get out to that. And then on Saturday as well, there's the Corvette cruise in over at Wilderness, which should be a pretty cool thing to go out to. So and one other thing, someone brought to me the last few days. There's been a big group of kids going out over to Millennium Park, and you look on the side of buses, it's Casey County buses coming. They're driving all the way from Casey County to Millennium, and so that park.
Berger was there a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that park is instrumental.
2 buses.
And I know you all.
What's the inspiration for that? I'm just curious.
Well, it's just, you know, where do they have to go? You know,
they don't have Gateway Park in Casey County, and there's really no equipment there for the children.
It's a draw, so it's important that we continue to work on that. Millennium Park and others they do draw people here. So
the park looks nice, and it gets a lot of use. I go out there and eat lunch every now and then just because it's fresh air and nice out there and pleasant. They work very hard on mowing it, keeping it looking good, and then you see. I saw Bergen show up with 2 buses, and you saw Casey.
Casey over the last couple days, 2 buses. Yeah, so it's getting some use, and so it's an important asset to the community. So money well spent.
So same thing true for Constitution Square. There's always people over there.
Right.
I'm downtown every day, and there's always folks there.
We also need to revisit. Well, possibly, you know, we talked about cameras being on the back sides of the buildings for the safety of the people around there. Still having some problems on the back side of those buildings, especially the one that backs up to where Roosters is and stuff.
The roadhouse is
yeah. So anyway,
it doesn't surprise me. We'll talk to Bill and see what our status is on that, because the cameras are they're there.
Yeah.
Did you all catch today the gentleman that talked about sleeping in Constitution Square?
Yeah.
That happens.
It does.
And it's a security.
Well,
I'm glad he had a place to go. Don't misunderstand me, but that is a security issue potentially for people who just walk through at night by themselves, or it's just something that until you hear somebody that's been there, you suspect it's going on, but he did it. So.
Well, I know down by Walmart, you can go along that tree line and you'll see tents set up. You see it more in the wintertime, which is really heartbreaking. But yeah, there's that issue. So anyway, that's all.
All right, Tom.
All right, thank you, Judge. First, I'd like to thank our county attorney. I have had no calls on dogs now for over 2 weeks. I do believe
he did a yeoman's job on
it's been taken care of. It's been almost a perennial problem.
Thank you.
But this was the biggest issue we've had in a long time on dogs. So thank you.
Appreciate you.
Secondly, the judge and I were out at an extremely important meeting about the Crawford House 10 days ago, and we're following up. There is some movement. I know, Chris, you've been involved in that as well. Thank you. Hopefully, we're on the way to resolution. Issues about the state has made the decision to deaccession, to sell the property. So it will soon be going out in a bid process. The judge has asked me to keep track of the couple of guys, one from out of state, who are interested in it. But until we can assure them of some things about the size of the property versus what we require under ordinance, that comes into play. Will they need a lateral field? The judge has identified a process that might be able to get us into the sewer system out there. But it is vital that this year, before snow flies, something be done, or at least one wall is subject to collapsing out there in that very historic building. The next thing I'd like to again compliment Magistrate Cullen with respect to the possible moving of some books as a library, and I'll be talking to Julie Clay, who's been continued on the board. And last, I'd like to say that there's a very important district ball game tonight between Boyle and Danville, and go Boyle County Rebels. So, and you'll have to help me on the Chaplain River, other than the fact that
just getting people ready for the Chaplain River TotalE Fest.
Oh yes,
July 30th.
Is it going to be turtles or ducks this year?
Supposedly
Turtles.
ducks.
Huh?
My inside led me to believe it was going to be ducks.
You all couldn't have coordinated that before.
Down the river this time. And by the way,
Are they
look at the
playing
foot traffic that we're getting. I think I mentioned it last meeting. The negotiation of getting that walk bridge is going to be a huge addition to tourists coming on both sides of the river now. Judge, I know you were very much involved with the state on that. We were both down there more times than we could count, but please come down and just walk that bridge. You'll enjoy it.
It's beautiful. They did an excellent job.
I think it's, I still say it's.
You think it's turtles?
It says Turtle Derby.
Wait and see.
I'm training my turtle to be for.
I'm gonna train my duck.
I just
They
got
go
my,
fast.
I just got my
They go
turtle
so
suit
much
from
faster.
Amazon. I needed it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I think you mentioned everything that I would wanted to mention, Jason, with regard to the flag retirement ceremony this weekend. Some others. I know for a fact in June, which is coming upon us pretty quick, and I'll give you more information as we meet the last of this month. But there are some Patriot Guard and Rolling Thunder events that will be here on the 10th and 11th. And I informed the SO of that yesterday, just for information, that they have coming. I've got some phone calls I've got to return on a couple of those that I'll be participating in and welcoming those folks to the Danville-Boyle County area. If there is nothing else, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn, and is there seconded by Magistrate Gay, in honor of Callaway County Deputy Sheriff Jody Cash, who passed away in the line of duty. And I will send a letter of condolences from this fiscal court, along with a certificate of adjournment in his honor of his service to the county that he lived in. So with that being said, we will adjourn in honor of Deputy Sheriff Jody Cash. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and we stand in adjournment. Thank you. All right.